TIFU. I have officially branded myself as the biggest perv. And I 100% deserve it. This is his now ex-wife. Did he not realize, or too dumb to remember we share everything, including the same Reddit app? I logged on to see this throwaway as the default login account. I've removed all of this personal story for my family's protection and changed this account's password. Although it might be too late and already circulated online. I took a look through the comments and was seriously disgusted by most of the responses suggesting to sexually approach both of us last night. Which my sister did mention he tried something in the middle of the night. This guy is incredibly living in another world. I'm only posting this to reassure everyone thinking he got away with it, that these types of scumbags do not. I came home yesterday with my sister to pack my shit. I saw his update saying I seemed alright, but I was keeping it in for the next morning. Reason we slept in the living room is because I didn't want him to see my bags in the corner of the bedroom. He came home suddenly before I finished packing. It wasn't fun camping, or a picnic. This morning, before he woke up, we grabbed the rest of my stuff and left. I went to the bank. And froze our joint account before he irresponsibly starts taking cash out. I'm not seeing him anymore, going to lawyer up, give away all this Reddit gold to the comments that I feel were actually reasonable, and divorce his ass. Oh. And if you can read this, I've deleted the tracking app. My lawyer will call you to unfreeze your share and take the steps to unlink me from any other tracking apps you might have on me. TLDR. His life is ruined. Of the 14,605 scenarios I have seen, you survive. None. Hey op, your wife is coming. Oh shit, he has AirPods, he can't hear you. Sorry. Edit. Thank you all for the gold and silver. Dude, you're fucked. This might very well be the biggest TIFU of this sub ever. An actual fuck up, and it happened today. Best post 2019. I think you just wanted to flex on us with those AirPods. Yeah, you're deaf screwed. If it was anyone other than her sister you may have been able to come back. I'm pretty sure she'd be equally mad if it were her mother instead. If it was her father it could also raise some questions. This happened an hour ago, and I'm still shaking in fear about how my life will now become from now on. There's two situations that leads to the conclusion of the FU. First situation. Asked sister-in-law to borrow her 360 pocket camera for a trip wife and I are soon vacationing to. Found out the memory card still had content. Her husband travels a lot, and she made a 1-hour POV-style 360 porn video, assuming sent to him a while back. I've had the hots for her for the past 8+ years. Before she got married and there were several times sexual tensions arose between the two of us. Living together for a year as strictly roommates, movies, dinners, getting drunk while watching movies just the two of us, breakfasts, etc. A certain trust, or test, was implemented and nothing ever happened between the two of us, as at the time I was dating my now wife which was working at a distance. But damn it, at the time if she just had touched my hand once back then, I think I would have lived a whole different life. So finding this video, I thought I struck gold. I could have what I've always fantasized about, gifting my past self, while living my happy current life. Second accident. I have an automated house that lights up the house with geolocation. Before the app worked with Apple HomeKit, a third-party app needed to be downloaded which tracks your family and friends. Free version only allows you to add one person, so my wife and I have had this app for 3 years now, even if it's useless now after an app update a couple years back on the original app. We never deleted it since it was so useful for tracking each other using notifications. I get a notification when she's at work and when I arrive at work. We also both get notifications when one arrives home. Good for times where she does groceries for example and I get a notification to prompt me to go out and help her out. Or when I work late and finally leave the office prompting her to set up the dining table. Last night she fell asleep without charging her phone. I hate when she does that. Today she goes to work with barely any battery. What if she needs to call the police or hospital for an emergency? I have the day off today. Today was the day I do the deed. I don't only go with simple 360 video, but literally set it up on my VR headset in bed with AirPods on. The whole experience. This would have lasted me tops 5 minutes. But the foreplay she does is long and boring. Then the action starts and I go on. Wife's phone didn't give a notification as she arrived, because of her now dead phone. She comes to the bedroom to see me masturbating in bed with VR goggles on. She knows I masturbate occasionally but never saw me do it, I sneak it in here and there. But VR porn was never discussed, as an "is it cheating if" thing. You know the convo I'm talking about. Is it cheating if you have a sex doll? Is it cheating if it's a robot? Is it cheating if you put a pleasure toy on and someone from across the internet strokes you in real time, etc.? It was the type of convo we'd have at the very start of our relationship when we were still friends 10 years ago, to see how far one could take it. Weird, I know, but let's say it was one of these pre-game convos to see if we're on the same page before things started getting serious. Pre-game convos were not only about sex, by the way. Anyways, VR wasn't a thing back then, so was never discussed. So I never knew if it was right or wrong for me to do so. I guess it was wrong, since she rushed in and ripped the goggles from my face. That's when I see her in the room. "The fuck?" she says. Then she looks inside. "Is that my sister?" I'm fucked. She still had her shoes on from arriving. So she just grabbed her bag with the VR headset and left the house. Seeing from the tracking app, she's at her parents' house, which are neighbors of the sister-in-law. I'm fucked. TLDR. Masturbated in VR with sister-in-law's 360 porn video. Got caught in the act. Now feeling out-of-body experience and don't know what's going to happen. Just in case Op realizes that posting this story was another fuck up. Edit: I got my very first award copying a post. Thank you, you glorious bastard. YTA. A pervert and divorced. Now that's a TIFU edit. Oh hey, I got a silver. I feel so special for pointing out OP's fate. To non-believers, this sounded really plausible and y'all men should know. Dick brain can make you do very dumb stuff. Edit 2 ha 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 Op did got divorced. Sorry for the ex-wife and her family. But Op really dug up his grave and awarded the biggest fucked up of 2019. That update gave me whiplash. I think you blew right past being the biggest perv and just landed yourself with a lifetime's worth of issues. RIP, my dude. Hope you saved a copy of the video because that's all the sex you gonna get in a long time while the divorce goes on. It wasn't the VR, man. You don't need to have the "what constitutes as cheating" discussion to know that masturbating to your wife's sister is wrong. Now when she sees her sister, she has to think about the fact you want to stick it in her. You're supposed to be family, man. You can't act on base instincts like that with family. Also, it sounds like you need to figure your shit out. You add in backstory about this thing you had with your wife's sister like it pardons you for jerking it to her because it's just fantasy, and not actually sleeping with the woman I still seem to be crushing on. No man, that makes it worse. You need to let this fantasy of the two of you together go completely, and treat her like your biological sister, if you want any chance of staying with your wife. TLDR. Stop perving on your wife's sister. It's a complete violation of trust. The past is the past. Edit. I misread the part where she was mad then looked and saw her sister. I assume she knew it was her sister when she ripped off the headset. Maybe VR headset hooked up to the computer as is sometimes done. I still think VR porn is something you can talk about pretty reasonably. VR porn with you sister-in-law, not so much. It was definitely the meat of the problem. Edit 2. My first gold, amigod. Thank you kind stranger shocked face. This is the single dumbest action I've heard of on Reddit in my very short Reddit scrolling career. She could think that her sister sent it to you intentionally and that you've been hiding an affair lol. Oh no, don't worry honey, it's not like your sister consented to this. Dude. Not only did you get caught jerking off to 360 degrees VR porn by your wife, not only did that porn contain someone you both know, not only is it your wife's sister, it was all without your wife's sister's knowledge. So now you look like a horny, pervy scumbag as well as a complete creep. You literally couldn't have fucked up more if you tried. Congrats Op. He could have fucked up a little more, like for example making a post on a popular website with enough specifics to be identifiable, in which he states he would have left his wife for her sister if given the opportunity. So, good thing he didn't do that. I was here when the biggest TIFU of 2019 happened. You really go all out for your beat-off sessions. Except for locking the door. Weirdest Detective Pikachu promo by far. Just jerk off like a normal person. Right? Like, why would I go through 10 to 15 minutes of setting my stuff up for 2.1 seconds of disappointing myself? She goes to work with barely any battery. What if she needs to call the police or hospital for an emergency? Can we stop with this assumption? In general, we survived hundreds of years without being able to be contacted every second of the day. Am I alone in thinking the perpetual tracking that's mentioned in this post is creepy?